Have you ever stood at the bottom of a staircase looking up and thought to yourself, I used to walk up these without even thinking? Now it takes effort. Sometimes you have to pause, take a breath, and brace yourself before climbing. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. For many adults over the age of 60, there's a noticeable change in how the legs feel. An aching tension in the thighs when rising from a chair, a bit of a wobble when stepping off a curb, or a general sense of unsteadiness while walking. It's easy to chalk it all up to aging, but what if I told you that age might not be the only reason? Often, the real cause is something that doesn't make a sound or raise a red flag. It's a missing vitamin, a quiet deficiency that could be making your legs feel weaker, your balance more fragile, and your body more tired with everyday movements. And here's what's most important. If caught early, it's completely manageable. This one issue could be what's making it harder to walk, climb stairs, or even just feel confident on your feet. But once you understand what's behind it and how to support your body properly, things can turn around faster than you might think. Just because you're growing older doesn't mean you have to feel weaker. There's so much strength still within you. You might just need to unlock it with the right tools. In this video, we'll talk about 3 specific vitamins that play a major role in keeping your legs strong, your balance steady, and your movement smooth. These aren't miracle cures or trendy supplements. They're medically backed nutrients that become even more important as we age. I'll explain how they work, how to know if you're running low, and the simple changes you can start making today to feel stronger and more secure. If you've noticed your legs tiring out more easily, or if standing, walking, or climbing stairs has started to feel like a workout, this may be the reason. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what steps to take. Before we get into it, I'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed any changes in your legs lately? Maybe stairs are tougher than they used to be, or you're relying more on railings and walls for support? Let us know in the comments. You're part of a community here, and your story could help someone else realize they're not alone. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to Vitamin Health, where we share weekly tips for staying active, independent, and full of life after 60. Let's start with one of the most overlooked yet powerful nutrients when it comes to physical strength: vitamin D. You've likely heard that vitamin D is important for bone health, and that's true. But what's often missed is that it's just as critical for your muscles, especially the muscles in your legs, hips, and core that help you sit, stand, walk, and balance. Have you ever sat in a chair for a while and then tried to stand, only to find that your legs weren't quite ready? You might lean forward, use your arms to push yourself up, and still feel like your legs are a bit behind. That's a sign of reduced muscle strength, not always from inactivity or aging, but sometimes from something as simple as a lack of vitamin D. Here's what happens inside the body. Your muscles have special receptors that rely on vitamin D to function properly. Think of vitamin D as a key that fits into a lock in your muscle cells. When the key is missing, the muscle doesn't respond the way it should. That affects how well you move, how quickly your muscles recover, and even how steady you feel on your feet. Research backs this up. One large-scale study in Europe found that seniors with low levels of vitamin D were more than twice as likely to suffer from significant muscle weakness. Another study from Ireland found that adults over 60 with low vitamin D had nearly 3 times the risk of poor leg function. That includes walking slower, climbing stairs with difficulty, and having poor balance. In some people, this even causes what's known as a waddling gait, where your body rocks side to side while walking, because the muscles around your hips and thighs don't have the strength to hold you steady. It's not just about looking frail, it's a serious issue that increases your risk of falling. And as we all know, one bad fall can change everything. So why does this happen more with age? For one, our skin becomes less efficient at making vitamin D from sunlight as we get older. We also tend to spend more time indoors, or we wear protective clothing that blocks the sun's rays. Even things like sunscreen, long sleeves, or cloudy weather can reduce the amount of vitamin D your body produces naturally. As for food, while you can get some vitamin D from fatty fish, egg yolks, or fortified dairy products, Most of us simply don't eat enough of those foods consistently, especially not every single day. So what can you do? First, if anything I've just described sounds familiar, weak legs, slow movements, or needing to brace yourself to stand, ask your doctor to test your vitamin D levels. It's a simple blood test, and it could reveal something important. Second, consider taking a daily vitamin D supplement. Most health professionals recommend somewhere between 800 to 1,000 IU per day for older adults. Some people need more, depending on their current levels and medical history, but your doctor can guide you on that. And third, try to spend a little time in the sun each week, if your weather and skin health allow it. Just 15 to 30 minutes of sun exposure, especially during the early morning or late afternoon, can help your body produce more of this essential vitamin. You may not feel the difference overnight, but after a few weeks, many people report feeling less heaviness in their legs, more confidence when walking, and more get up and go. One woman I spoke with, in her early 70s, told me that after a month of vitamin D and gentle morning walks, she could finally get up from her garden bench without holding onto the fence. She smiled and said, "I didn't think I'd be able to do that again." Let's move to another vitamin that plays a very different role, but is just as important. If vitamin D is the strength behind your muscles, then vitamin B12 is the silent guide, helping your nerves communicate with them. It's like the messenger that tells your body how to move, when to lift your feet, and how to stay balanced. And when it's missing, things start to feel off. Imagine this. You're walking across the room like you've done 1,000 times before, but suddenly your foot doesn't land quite where it should. Maybe you stumble just a bit, or maybe your toes feel slightly numb. It passes quickly, and you tell yourself it's nothing, just a tired day. But the truth is, it might be your nerves struggling to do their job. That's where vitamin B12 comes in. It doesn't get as much attention as vitamin D or calcium, but it's absolutely essential, especially for older adults. Vitamin B12 keeps the protective coating around your nerves healthy, almost like the insulation around electrical wires. Without enough of it, the signals between your brain and your legs start to get scrambled. When that happens, you might notice tingling in your feet or calves, a slight burning sensation, or a numbness that's hard to describe. Some people say it feels like walking on cotton, or like their feet have fallen asleep, but the sensation doesn't go away. Others don't feel anything specific, but just notice they're more unsteady than usual, needing to look down at their feet to know where they're going. This isn't just a strange feeling, it's a sign that the nerves controlling your legs aren't getting the support they need. And that can be dangerous. When your brain can't fully tell where your feet are, your balance suffers. That's when stumbles turn into trips, and trips can turn into falls. I remember speaking to a gentleman, 68 years old, who told me he felt like he had to consciously watch his legs as he walked, as if they weren't fully under his control. He wasn't sick, and he didn't feel tired, but he felt disconnected, like something just wasn't quite right. A simple blood test revealed a B12 deficiency that had gone unnoticed for years. Within a few months of correcting it, his balance improved and that strange, disconnected feeling began to fade. And he's not alone. Studies show that up to 20% of older adults have low or borderline B12 levels. And the tricky part? You don't have to be dangerously deficient to feel the effects. Even mild shortages can cause noticeable symptoms, like poor balance, leg weakness, slower walking, and even memory issues. Why does this happen so often as we age? It's mostly because our stomachs become less efficient at absorbing B12 from food. Even if you eat a good diet, meat, fish, eggs, dairy, it might not be getting into your system. On top of that, many common medications, like those for acid reflux or diabetes, can interfere with B12 absorption too. So how do you know if this could be part of the problem? Think about the last time you got up at night to use the bathroom. Did you feel less steady in the dark? Do you find yourself widening your stance when walking, almost like your body is compensating for uncertainty? Do your feet sometimes feel off, even if you can't describe exactly how? These are real signs of B12 issues, and if left unchecked for too long, it can lead to permanent nerve damage. But here's the good news. It's incredibly easy to test for and even easier to treat. A blood test can confirm your B12 status, and if it's low, most people respond well to a simple daily supplement. Typical doses range from 500 to 1,000 micrograms, and since B12 is water-soluble, any excess simply leaves the body, so there's very little risk of taking too much. In more serious cases, your doctor might recommend a few B12 injections to quickly bring your levels back up, but most people don't need that. And once your body starts absorbing it again, the improvements can be dramatic. Better balance, fewer stumbles, a stronger connection between your brain and your feet. I've heard people say they didn't realize how unsteady they'd become until they started feeling steady again. When your nerves are working properly, your muscles follow. You walk more smoothly, you feel safer, and you stop needing to think so much about something that used to come naturally. Now let's talk about one more key player, one that gets even less attention than the first two, but might be the missing piece in why your legs feel heavy, drained, or just don't want to move the way they used to. It's called thiamine, or vitamin B1. And while it's not as well known, it plays a major role in keeping your body energized and coordinated. Thiamine is like a spark plug. It helps turn the food you eat into fuel your muscles can actually use. Without enough of it, your muscles, especially the ones in your legs, can't access the energy they need. And that's when things start slowing down. Walking across the house can feel like hiking uphill. Standing in line at the store becomes exhausting. Even small movements feel like a chore. I once met a man in his 70s who described the feeling perfectly. He said, "My legs are there. I can see them, but they feel like they belong to someone else." He thought it was just part of aging, something he had to accept. But when his doctor checked his vitamin levels, he was low in thiamine. Within 2 weeks of adding a thiamine supplement and changing up his meals, that heaviness started to lift. That's because without B1, your muscles aren't just tired, they're starved. Thiamine helps break down glucose, your body's primary source of energy. Without it, your muscles are like a car trying to run without gas. They slow down, weaken, and eventually lose coordination. And that affects everything, from your ability to stay balanced to how quickly you respond when walking. In more serious cases, thiamine deficiency can lead to a condition called dry beriberi, a nerve-related illness that causes tingling, numbness, burning in the feet, and even a shuffling or staggering walk. Some people develop what's called foot drop, where the muscles no longer lift the toes properly, causing them to trip over small things or drag their feet. It sounds severe, and it is, but the underlying cause might simply be that your body hasn't been getting the B1 it needs. The good news is, this level of deficiency is rare, but mild to moderate thiamine deficiency is surprisingly common, especially in older adults. Why? Because appetites tend to shrink with age. Many older adults eat fewer whole foods and more refined carbs, like white bread, rice, or crackers, which are low in B1. Add medications like diuretics, which flush thiamine out of the body, and it becomes easy to fall short. So what should you look for? Fatigue is one. A feeling that your legs are too tired to keep up, even if your mind is alert. A heaviness in your step. Occasional cramps or spasms, or a general loss of coordination when walking, even on familiar ground. Just like the other deficiencies we've talked about, this one is also easy to correct. The recommended daily amount of thiamine for adults is about 1.1 to 1.2 milligrams, and you can get that through foods like beans, lentils, sunflower seeds, whole grains, and liver. But if you've been low for a while, your doctor might suggest a higher supplement dose to help replenish your levels quickly. Most people who correct a thiamine deficiency feel a difference within days or weeks. No, you won't suddenly run marathons, but you might walk down the hallway without needing to hold the wall. You might make it to your mailbox and back without stopping halfway. And perhaps most importantly, you might feel like you're back in sync with your own body again. I remember a woman in her late 60s who'd stopped going for her daily walks. She felt drained before she even started. After adding thiamine and making just a few dietary changes, she told me, "I don't dread movement anymore. I actually look forward to it again." That's the shift we're looking for. Not perfection, but progress. So now that you've made it this far, take a moment and check in with yourself. Are you feeling symptoms you've just assumed were part of getting older? That heaviness, that wobble, that hesitation when you move. It might not be aging. It might be your body asking for a little support. You've now learned about 3 quiet but powerful vitamin deficiencies, each one capable of affecting how you walk, climb stairs, and carry yourself through the day. Vitamin D for muscle strength, B12 for nerve control, and B1 for energy and coordination. None of these are magic, but together they're part of a smarter, more informed way to care for your body as it changes. Aging doesn't mean losing strength. It means learning how to support it better. So if this video made you think of your own experience, don't let that go. Talk to your doctor. Ask for a simple vitamin check. Add a high-quality multivitamin if needed. Maybe get a little more sun, or bring some whole foods back into your routine. One small step is all it takes to start changing direction. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to move with confidence. And you absolutely deserve to feel connected to your body again, no matter your age. And if any part of this video spoke to you, leave a comment below. Even just a, "That's me." You never know who else might read your words and feel a little less alone. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe to Vitamin Health for more weekly insights to help you stay active, energized, and independent for years to come. Take care of your body, listen to its signals, and remember, your strength didn't leave you. It's just been waiting for the right support to return.